The dawn of 2026 arrived with a sense of hope and possibility for many, but for Evangeline Lilly, it brought something far more profound than the usual resolutions or promises of self-improvement. It brought a life-changing revelation that would alter the course of her year, and perhaps her entire life. On January 1st, with remarkable bravery, Evangeline took to social media and the public eye to announce that she had been diagnosed with brain damage, a deeply personal truth she chose to share with the world. This wasn't just another fleeting celebrity headline or a moment of tabloid drama. It was a raw, honest admission of a serious health challenge, one that would resonate with countless people facing invisible battles of their own. Evangeline's openness, especially as a beloved star of Marvel films and the iconic series Lost, struck a chord far beyond Hollywood, reaching fans and strangers alike who saw her as both a hero on screen and now, in real life. She revealed that her diagnosis followed a traumatic brain injury she had suffered the previous year, a detail that added gravity to her announcement and shed light on the hidden struggles she had endured behind the scenes. Instead of hiding away or keeping her pain private, she made the courageous decision to share her journey openly, turning what could have been a solitary struggle into a public conversation about healing, vulnerability, and hope. Fans who had long admired her for her strength and charisma on screen now saw her real-life resilience, her willingness to connect with others, not for attention or sympathy, but to help those who might be suffering in silence feel less alone. Her announcement wasn't about seeking sympathy or headlines. It was about raising awareness for brain injuries and mental health, issues that are often misunderstood or overlooked in society. Through a heartfelt and vulnerable social media post, she invited everyone into her reality, making the invisible struggles of brain injury visible and encouraging others to speak up about their own experiences. This marks a new, challenging chapter in her life, one defined not just by adversity, but by honesty, resilience, and a determination to move forward despite uncertainty. Evangeline's story is no longer just about her roles in film and television. It's about her fight to reclaim her life, her health, and her sense of self in the face of overwhelming odds. Her vulnerability is a gift, sparking a vital conversation about the realities of brain injury, the importance of mental health, and the power of community support. As she faces this diagnosis and the challenges ahead, Evangeline's courage shines brighter than ever, inspiring others to find strength in their own stories and to never give up hope. To truly understand Evangeline's journey, we have to start at the moment her life took an unexpected turn, a day that would forever divide her story into before and after. We go back to a day in May 2025, a date that seemed ordinary at first, but would soon become unforgettable. What began as a peaceful morning on a Hawaiian beach, waves gently lapping the shore, sunlight painting the sky, turned tragic in an instant. Without warning, Evangeline fainted, her body crumpling to the sand and striking a jagged boulder. The impact was devastating. She suffered significant facial injuries, her face bloodied and bruised, and was rushed to the hospital as bystanders watched in shock. Later, Evangeline made the brave decision to share graphic photos of her injuries online, pulling back the curtain on the raw, painful reality behind the headlines and social media posts. But this wasn't just about the visible wounds. The fainting spell was a symptom of something much deeper, a medical mystery that had haunted her for years, lurking beneath the surface. Doctors worked quickly to treat her injuries, but their real concern was the cause of her sudden blackout. What had triggered it? Was it a one-time event, or a sign of something more sinister? This wasn't a simple faint, it was a warning sign, a red flag that something was seriously wrong inside her body. The incident forced a deeper investigation into her health. Suddenly, the focus shifted from her visible scars to the hidden dangers that had been quietly threatening her well-being for years. That day became a turning point, a moment that exposed a problem she could no longer ignore, no matter how much she wanted to move on. The fall set off a cascade of medical tests, scans, blood work, and endless questions that would ultimately lead to a diagnosis she never expected: brain damage. As her face slowly healed, the emotional and psychological wounds lingered. The event left her with lasting questions about her health, her future, and her identity. Yet, in the midst of uncertainty, this crisis became the catalyst for answers she'd been seeking for years, answers that had always seemed just out of reach. That single, life-altering moment changed the course of her life, setting her on a path she never could have imagined. It was the alarm bell that could not be silenced, a wake-up call that demanded to be heard, and one that would shape every step of her journey from that day forward. Evangeline's beach accident wasn't her first blackout. In fact, it was just the latest in a long series of mysterious episodes that had haunted her for as long as she could remember. It was part of a lifelong pattern that began in her earliest years and followed her into adulthood, shaping the person she would become. Since childhood, she'd experienced unexplained fainting and absent spells, strange moments when the world seemed to slip away, leaving her with gaps in memory and a sense of confusion. Sometimes, she'd wake up on the floor, surrounded by worried faces, unable to recall what had happened. Decades of medical tests ruled out epilepsy and hypoglycemia, but no clear diagnosis emerged. She saw countless specialists, underwent endless scans and blood work, but each time, the results came back inconclusive. Living with this uncertainty shaped her life, forcing her to adapt to the unpredictable. She learned to plan her days around the possibility of a sudden episode, always alert, always cautious. She often wondered if stress played a role, describing these episodes as her soul leaving her body when overwhelmed. The fear of losing control lingered in the back of her mind, making even ordinary moments feel precarious. The lack of answers was frustrating, but she pressed on, building a career and family despite the risk. She refused to let the unknown define her, even as it shadowed every achievement. Her story is one of resilience in the face of the unknown, a testament to her strength and determination to keep moving forward, no matter how many times she was knocked down. The May 2025 fall wasn't random. It was the culmination of years of unanswered questions, a dramatic reminder that her search for answers could no longer be ignored. Finally, her lifelong mystery demanded attention. The urgency was impossible to dismiss, and she knew it was time to confront the unknown head-on. The search for answers was about to reach a turning point. For the first time, there was a sense that real clarity might be within reach. And for the first time in her life, Evangeline felt a glimmer of hope that the truth behind her blackouts would finally be revealed. After her fall, Evangeline's medical investigation intensified. Doctors knew another blackout could be deadly, so they launched a new round of advanced tests. Brain scans looked for both recent injury and long-standing abnormalities. The waiting was agonizing. Each test brought hope and fear. Finally, the scans revealed the truth. Almost every area of her brain was functioning at a decreased capacity. The diagnosis was clear: traumatic brain injury with widespread effects. For Evangeline, this was both devastating and validating. Years of uncertainty were replaced by a concrete answer. The endless search was over. Now there was a target for treatment. The focus shifted from mystery to recovery. The journey had been long, but the diagnosis marked a new beginning. Now, the real work could begin. Brain damage is a life-altering diagnosis, and for Evangeline it brought a storm of emotions. There was relief. Her cognitive struggles finally had a name and a cause. Years of worrying about memory loss and mental fog were validated. She wasn't imagining things. Her symptoms were real. But the diagnosis was also deeply unsettling. The word damage is frightening, especially when it's your brain. She faced the daunting reality of an uphill battle to regain lost function. Questions about her future loomed large. Would she recover? What would life look like now? This mix of comfort and discomfort is honest and human. Evangeline didn't pretend to be fearless. She admitted her worries. Her openness makes her story relatable and real. She's not a superhero. She's a person facing a profound challenge, and her courage lies in that honesty. With a diagnosis in hand, Evangeline faces a long, challenging road to recovery. She knows healing the brain isn't simple. It's a marathon, not a sprint. Her plan involves working closely with doctors and specialists, embracing therapies for both mind and body. Cognitive rehab, physical therapy, and counseling are all part of her toolkit. Progress will be slow, with setbacks and small victories. But Evangeline is ready for the fight, committed to every step. She's not alone. Her medical team is by her side. Her realistic approach is key. No quick fixes, just steady effort. She's an active participant in her own healing, not a passive victim. Her determination is inspiring, showing what true resilience looks like. Each day is a step up the hill, and she's climbing, one determined stride at a time. Amidst the struggle, Evangeline has found a silver lining. Her cognitive decline forced her to slow down, giving her a rare chance to rest. In a world obsessed with productivity, she discovered the value of stillness. The injury, while devastating, brought unexpected peace, a calmer Christmas, a gentler pace. Sometimes, being forced to stop is a blessing in disguise. It allowed her to reconnect with what truly matters. Her story is a reminder to listen to our bodies before crisis strikes. The injury shifted her focus from achievement to healing. Finding light in darkness doesn't erase the challenge, but it reveals resilience. Evangeline's ability to see hope in hardship is a lesson for us all. Even in pain, there can be unexpected gifts. By sharing her story, Evangeline has become a voice for those with invisible injuries. Traumatic brain injuries are often misunderstood because their symptoms are hidden. Her openness breaks down stigma and brings awareness to millions who suffer in silence. She empowers others to seek help and advocate for themselves. Her vulnerability sparks compassion and understanding. Evangeline's story is more than personal. It's a movement for awareness and support. She's making the invisible visible. At its heart, Evangeline Lilly's story is about hope and resilience. She faces daunting challenges with honesty and determination, refusing to be defined by her diagnosis. Her journey is a lesson in confronting adversity with authentic courage. Hope fuels her recovery, not wishful thinking, but action and commitment. She reminds us that hope is a daily choice, and resilience is built one step at a time. Her story isn't just about injury, it's about the power to adapt, heal, and find meaning. Evangeline's battle is universal, facing the unexpected, finding strength in vulnerability, and holding on to hope. True strength isn't being unbreakable. It's being honest about the breaks and dedicated to healing. Her journey inspires us all to keep climbing, no matter how steep the hill. With courage and hope, anything is possible.